A bowl victory for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Kevin Ward and Tyler Kluver here tonight for the bowl game recap and to usher you in to the new year. Kevin Ward, happy 2023, my friend.
And to you as well, my friend.
It looks like potentially you might have had a few pops last night.
Yeah, had a couple.
Good. Root beer, Dr. Pepper,
Some grape juice.
Okay. Grape juice. Oh,
yeah, I'm big. I'm big on the grape juice.
Big fan of grape juice myself.
Yeah.
When I dabble. So it's 2023. The Hawks end their season, an interesting season, on a bowl victory. The last time that the Hawks shut out somebody in a bowl game was the year that we were born, 1994. It doesn't happen very often in bowl games, a shutout. Joe Labas at quarterback, Laporta doing what he does, the defense doing what they do. We're going to talk about the bowl game recap and thoughts from that. We're also going to talk about the semifinal games tonight. Some competitive matchups for once, Kev.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
No defense.
That was lacking.
Is it a good game? Is it still a good game if the defenses are just letting the offenses run up and down the field? I have trouble reconciling this.
I mean, you can make the argument it's just as competitive as a game that you win 6-3.
It's certainly just as competitive. I know you hate it.
I felt like one game, there was just a lot of offensive talent, right? And there's just
Tons.
Guys making plays. The other, it was just there was some sloppy football.
TCU, Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, them boys don't know how to tackle.
These guys really aren't playing good football.
I'm not I'm no Phil Parker, right? But them boys' fundamentals aren't great. And Kev, they're not even in the right spots half the time.
It's tough to watch, man. It really is tough to watch.
It makes you really,
especially like this is the biggest game of their lives. Like, just making fundamental, basic day one errors.
Unbelievable. Yeah. The thing I noticed the most too is defense is a lot about, I don't know, you could probably talk about this, but defense is a lot about vision, right? Your eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
Jewell specifically. Damn, he almost got the Chiefs today. Don't know if you caught that one.
I watched bits and pieces of it. Yeah,
dude, he's so. I don't like to say it, but Josie's kind of a badass.
Always has been.
Like he rocks the tricep arm tape now. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And he just the way he walks around is like in those fucking Bigfoot videos where it's like those like he walks around like an animal, man. He's maybe a little bit Neanderthal in him, but he's just got that fucking swag. Like he is.
If he did 23andMe tests, he's definitely have more Neanderthal in him than the average human being.
Yeah. Josie wouldn't do that. He doesn't want. I don't know if he's as anti-government as Drake, but he probably don't want people tracking him to his home back in Decorah. Yeah, so Josie was really good with his eyes. Very instinctual player, but also saw the field really well. I think a few Hawks right now on our defense do that as well. One of them being Cooper DeJean, And these guys on TCU, on Michigan, you can see, even from a television view, they're looking at the wrong things. I saw on the long, it seemed like TCU would punch, and then Michigan would counter punch, and then TCU would punch again. And on one of TCU's, the one where the corner got absolutely down blocked inside, suplexed onto his ass. he's not even looking in the right spot. He gets caught off guard. He gets caught off his feet. I'm like, Jesus, man. And I know a lot of people watch Iowa football and then they go and watch a game like that and they think, wow, this is what it's like to watch an offense that scores. I watch those games and I see all the points scored and I think, man, how lucky are we to have a defense that is so fundamentally sound? Like,
I mean,
it's
I mean, just for me, it just feels like if you just got them to the basics, right? You can have a halfway decent defense. Then you
yeah.
add some talent, then you can have a really good defense. That's just all we've ever really done at Iowa is just be really good at the fundamentals and having guys in the right spots, and it makes making plays a lot easier.
It's human nature though, right? Example. You and I both are pretty well versed in good nutrition, both exercise science majors, personal interest, personal experience, having to work with that as part of being an athlete in college. Nutrition isn't sexy, right? It's pretty bland if you want to be successful with the kind of diet that you run in your life. Oftentimes it's going to be a lot of the same foods over and over again because something that you know and something that is repetitive makes for consistency. It's a lot of fruits and vegetables, lean meat. It's not the flashy stuff that you get at the restaurants. It's not a lot of alcohol. There's not a lot of processed Oreo cakesters that I walk by in the aisles. Have you seen these Oreo cakesters?
Oreo
It's like a
cakesters
soft
sounds like
it's like a soft little like Oreo cake treat. I've walked by it twice the last 2 weeks in the store and I thought, "Damn, that looks good." But I don't buy it because to be good at nutrition, you stick to the fundamentals. You do the same shit over and over again. You bend, don't break. Right? You bend a little bit here
it's
and there.
simple but not easy, right?
Simple, not easy. Human nature
Simple
is
but
you want
not
to go
easy.
for the flash. You want to have a little variety. You want to feel bad every once in a while. And the equivalent of that in football is like, oh yeah, we're gonna send a bunch of crazy blitzes. We're gonna play man coverage and take chances. We're gonna and Iowa football, they just they stick to that nutrition plan. Just easy money. And a lot of
Just
people, they just
stay in your gap, control your gap, make the tackle.
yeah, and be great at tackling.
Lot of sloppy tackling too. A lot of
Not
sloppy tackling.
not good.
And I mean, it
Guys,
wasn't only defensive too. Is man, there were some questionable play calls. You're inside the if you're Michigan, you're inside the 2-yard line twice. That got 0 points out of them.
long throw to Watson, or what was his name? Was it Watson?
No, it's not Watson.
Was
I
it
know who you're talking about though.
whatever? I'm confusing it with the Packers. Touchdown, right?
It looked like a touchdown to me for sure. Yeah.
Touchdown to me.
Regardless, you get the ball first and goal on the half-yard line. That should score 100% of the time.
Can't fumble. Can't fumble. Certainly can't fumble.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about shit your pants on the biggest stage. Can't fumble, Kev. What the fuck are we doing? And I'm not a Michigan man, right? I don't cheer for the Michigan Wolverines, but I like to see the Big Ten win. I would have liked to see Ohio State Michigan rematch in the
Would have been
national championship.
sick.
Would have been
Totally.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
A Michigan Ohio State rematch in the national championship game, I think would have been the most viewed college football game in history. Who knows? Maybe TCU, Georgia will still be close. I'm not sure what the numbers are.
I'm not gonna lie though. I'm kind of in on the Hypnotoad right now.
Dude, what is that?
I don't know, but it's fun, man. I was
Eh,
literally just you know how they've been doing like all the videos with the Hypnotoad after
Yeah.
each win? I went and scrolled through almost all of them last night. I'm like, this is hilarious. I am absolutely Team Horny Frogs now.
You entered that deep fried memes department.
Yeah, those are some Brady Ross memes up in there.
Yeah, the videos that the social media department for TCU posts after a win is Brady. I think Brady Ross might run the account. For those that don't know, one of the perks. Oh, can you hear the baby? Every once in a while, you might be able to hear the baby cry. Not sure why. Just fed her, changed her. Babies are really. They just don't. They don't thank you for anything. They just take. You know,
Selfish.
selfish.
You're raising a selfish child there. It's on you.
Unbelievable, really. The Discord on the Washed Up Walk On Army Patreon perk exclusive extra. You might find a couple former Hawks in there, right? Brady Ross lurks, hasn't posted in a while. Miguel Racinos has access to that. Maybe we'll get some other people in on that too. But there's a memes thread in our Discord. And for those of you out there who like memes, some of this shit gets deep. I don't even touch that thread because I don't understand half of it. But back to these games. I mean, it's better than watching Alabama blow out Michigan State the year that we potentially could have been in Michigan State's shoes. By the way, watching, I think I get a small twinge of like, ouch, every time the CFP, the semifinal games happen, because I know we were so close. I mean, we were so damn close.
Damn close.
If in 2015 we win that Big Ten championship and we play Alabama in a semifinal game at Soldier Field in the middle of December, I think we're playing for Natty.
Soldier Field in December, I think, is the only chance. In Jerry World, AT&T Stadium, indoors in Dallas, the exact same result that Michigan State had.
They bend us over and spank us.
Absolutely.
You think exact same result as Michigan State? We get run that bad?
Yes.
Oh,
man. That was a talented Bama team.
Yeah, they were good.
And that was a good Michigan State defense, like a really good Michigan State defense, and they put up like 40 on them.
Yeah. Right, that 15 Michigan State team, okay? They were pretty fucking good, all right? Emotional Kirk, by the way. Guys' emotions have come out multiple times in the past week. I don't know if you caught a couple of the interviews in the press conferences. Jack Campbell, Laporta, up on the stage, he's crying, accepting the trophy. He's getting softer and softer, you know?
He's been doing it a long time, right?
Long time.
And I think the last 3 years or so have been especially challenging. Not just unique to Iowa, but also everything else that's come in with how the game has changed. And I think it just really means a lot to him when he can still have success, when he can still, hear his players talking about him with the reverence that I feel like he deserves. But I think it really means to them a lot to him that, we can still win football playing the Iowa way, just doing things the right way, doing things how he sees them being done. That didn't make any sense, but whatever.
No. I think you're right. I know he's not a dumb guy relative to the outside world, the noise.
Sure.
He might ignore us. He might not hear us. I don't know if we're absolutely. I don't know if we're loud enough quite, but I know that the noise gets to him, whether it be proxied through the media who sort of ask questions, speculate. You can kind of hear in their tone and the way they ask questions and what the context of the questions are that, a general consensus on the outside might be this or that. And he got chippy a couple times this year, right? The media, and there's a lot of criticism that's deserved. You step into that position as a head football coach at a Division I university, and your criticism is part of the job. But like you said, he's been doing it a long time. He's got a lot of years to compare that criticism to, contextualized with results on the field and what he knows is actually happening on the inside versus what the outside noise is. And I think for him, I think that he feels a little bit of us against the world, us against the media, us against the haters, right? He
Sure.
would never say haters, but I think he feels us against the haters. And when he can go out and win a bowl game with 2 pick sixes, 0 for 11 on third down offensively, and have seniors like Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta and Riley Moss all decide to play in the bowl game and not opt out like every other school.
Yep.
And then those players get up and they talk about him and they talk about what the university has provided them and how much they love playing for Kirk and love playing for the program. I think, and then you put that all into what you said, where the Doyle drama, racism, COVID, transfer portal, NIL. I mean, for a 65, 67-year-old coach who's he's the oldest coach. Maybe not the oldest coach age-wise, but the longest tenured. That's a lot of hits to like the normalcy and the year after year and the establishment that he has built. Right? He probably feels like, God damn, the world's really trying to tear this thing down. And then they can go out and win a bowl game against Kentucky. You also add the storyline of, we played them last year, different team than Kentucky from the regular season, obviously, without a few of their players. But I think that's where the emotion boils up. And he just thinks, God damn, it's nice to have players who make it feel like the old times.
Right. And I think, you talked about it a little bit too. Is like, um, anytime you win a bowl game is special, right? Because
Yeah.
it's one last time to play as a team. I think he is especially appreciative of those guys that you mentioned that
Yeah.
were just all time great Hawkeyes. Came back and played one more game. And I think he was just really happy that he had a really good senior class that he could send out with a win.
Yeah. He cares about that shit.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't care about it. A lot of coaches around the country right now, if they're not in the CFP or one of these, higher end bowl games, how much do they give a shit, right? How long have they even been at the program they're coaching for? A lot of coaches haven't even spent the full 5 years with the senior class, right? That's the way coaching is nowadays. Sonny Dykes is in his first year at TCU. I mean, how much of a connection does he have to these players after 12 months? I don't know when he was hired. It's different for Kirk, and you can hear it come out, and I think that's why people love him. And then you see the tweets of people like, man, and it might even be people who like gave Brian shit during the season. You see stuff like, I'd fucking run into traffic for this guy. Like, it just, when everybody that's ever been at a college program, you ask them and they're like, what was it about XYZ school with XYZ coach? And they're like, yeah, it's just different there, right? Best fan base, best coaches. And a lot of that is just bullshit. It's just a good way for a person to describe their unique experience because they don't know any different. I think when you talk about Coach Ferentz is different, the Iowa staff is different, the Iowa culture is different, I think it's legitimate. Kevin and I don't know. We didn't play for any, even if Kevin and I would have entered ourselves in a transfer portal, I don't think anybody was trying to suck us, across the fence. Suck us might have
Zero.
Yeah. Nobody really trying to suck us. There you go. There's your Drake quote of the day. I'll add in the little sexual innuendo. But I really do think that it's just different at Iowa. It's special. And you see that come out. It's really great. So 21-0. That was the score at halftime. 2 of the touchdowns were pick sixes. Beautiful pick sixes.
Hell yeah.
X gonna give it to you. Big game from the freshman. 5-star. Finally gets his shot. Makes the most of it. Played well.
Yeah, I mean, help put a team put up a shutout. Can't say I had anything stand out to me where I saw like he was in the wrong spot or anything. I mean, I think he played an overall good game, and then obviously, yeah, huge pick six.
Pick was thrown right to him, but
yeah, I mean, it was a bad throw, but he caught it and he ran it to the end zone. So what else do you want him to do?
the play after the catch was much more impressive and athletic than making the catch. But regardless, it ends in 6, and he was hype, and it was so cool to see him celebrate. Another pick 6 by Cooper DeJean, which ties the school record for pick sixes in a season with Riley, who did it last year. Helped that he started the year with 2 of them in the first game, I think in the first half.
I think I
And
saw a tweet that said Cooper DeJean had the most touchdown receptions on our team this year or something like that.
I believe he did. There was 7 receiving touchdowns from the Hawkeyes this year, and I bet we could probably figure it out. Lachey had 1 versus Michigan. I know that.
Lachey had 1 in this game.
Lachey had 1 in this game. That's 2 of the 7. I mean, the fact that we can't think of them is bad.
The fact that there's only 7 is not good.
It's bad. Yeah, no, the stat was 7 receiving touchdowns and 6 defensive touchdowns. 3 from Cooper, 1 from Kayvon, 1 from I can't think. I'm not a stat guy. I don't have the memories like that.
Jack got hosed.
Jack got hosed versus Minnesota. Should have been tied. Should have been a tie ball game there between the receiving. But yeah, I mean, and the Coop one, you know, he basically by the time he catches it, he's already in the end zone, right? And
yeah, probably even a worse throw than the
yeah. And that was the one. That was the one where I looked. My brothers were over here in Waukee. My family was hanging out, seeing the baby, and I looked at him and I go, yeah, see this quarterback? He's, you know, if he becomes something, he's going to look back at this game. He's going to think, you know what? That was a nice christening for me. Playing an Iowa defense. You know, that I learned a lot. Because that was like stealing. And
that was
Cooper steps across the line, you know, swag flip to the ref like I do this, right?
Just takes the swaggy just one step into the end zone.
I'm him.
Yeah.
I'm him, right? Nashville is my city.
The more impressive play out of Coop was one, he had a couple of nice downs on punt.
Yeah.
Punt team had themselves a day.
Yep.
And then his punt return.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, he's backing up. He's gonna catch us on the 5.
Yep.
Please don't catch it. Oh, he caught it. He didn't
please. And I can hear that in your head as you were on the punt return unit. Like you're running back and you're watching him and you're thinking, please don't catch it. Please don't catch it.
Nope. Let that go.
And then he caught it. I got to turn around and block.
Yeah. Then had an awesome run, brings it back out to like the 40 or something like that.
I think that extremely impressive play. I think that there's nothing more evident. There is no greater a gap in college football, or maybe I don't know. There's something special about the punt returning position where you either have it or you don't. Coop has it, and it is some sort of combination of swag, confidence, cool, calm, collected. Right? It's the guy. He just reminds me of when Desmond used to sit back there and catch punts. Desmond didn't give a fuck. You could be in his helmet with him, and he would catch that thing, and he was making the first guy miss and probably the second guy. And Coop has that same thing where it's like, I don't care if you're in the bubble. I'm catching this. It's going to look like no one's even around me. That's how calm I'm going to collect this ball. And then he makes plays. And it's just
He's just a natural football player.
he's going to be a starting NFL safety for somebody, and they are going to pay him a lot of money, assuming that he stays healthy. Did you catch when the announcer said that Jack Campbell doesn't have what it takes to play in the NFL?
Overheard something like that.
Hey, God.
I don't know if you said that. You questioned the athleticism play in the NFL.
He says he doesn't have the athleticism to play linebacker in the NFL. Hey,
we're gonna call that one bullshit.
Hey, buddy.
I can't wait to see how he tests at the combine because I think he's actually gonna test quite well.
I do too. Regardless, I don't care what he tests like, and there will be a couple scouts who know football and don't let the numbers get in front of them. Even and I think the numbers will be good. But there's going to be some people out there that are like, okay, this guy won the Butkus at Iowa. There's a guy right now that's, Josie didn't win the Butkus, but Josie's the blueprint. And Jack, his measurables are significantly better than Josie's. In fact, watching Jack play, he runs down linebackers or scrambling quarterbacks just like Josie does. The way they run is the same, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
They both have a little bit of mean streak to them too on the field.
When they make contact, it's I'm tackling you, but I'm also trying to send a message. Man, it's fun to watch. He's gonna make a lot of money. I don't care what the fucking announcer said. He's gonna.
Yeah, he's gonna be top 3 round draft pick for sure. I'd say second round.
Yep, you're right where I'm at. I was gonna say he's a no doubt day 2 guy, and I'm thinking second round, middle of the second round. I mean,
yeah, and he's like, again, he's a guy that I'm gonna miss watching play.
Fuck, bad.
And I was thinking to myself, it's like, we've been out of the program for 5 years now, so
5 years.
But you hear him talk about, what this program has meant to him. And yeah, I just think back and it's exactly how I felt. So it just feels good to the soul that the program is in a place where it still means as much to the guys on the team now as it did to us back then.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's some extent of that happens at every program. But I do think the one thing, and I got asked this on Twitter by somebody, the video of Laporta coming off the field, they did a little cut up of him, and then he's in the tunnel. I don't know if you saw it today. He's in the tunnel talking about what KF means to him and what and he got a little bit emotional walking back to the locker room. And someone responded with, man, this is what I love about college football. And this is what I love about Iowa. And I'm worried that the transfer portal and NIL is going to kill this. And I think yes and no. I think there was a lot more program loyalty and tradition and emotional connection to a coach, a coaching staff, a city, a university. I think with time, as football, the game has changed, that has faded. And it's going to continue to fade when kids have on their resume 3 different colleges that they've been to. Sure, right? But it's never going to go away where there's going to be a couple kids on each team that come in as a freshman. They play their way into some playing time. They find a starting role. They play for 4 or 5 years, and there might only be a couple of them instead of a full class like we had, like where there was 14 of us. It was like, damn, all 14 of us like really felt like, even down to Gaffey. Gaffey, like we were connected to that program, man. Gaffey maybe more than anybody. There's still going to be those guys. Those stories will still be around, and
just become less common.
It's just going to be less common. So Coop got hit on a punt return on running into the returner, and I tweeted out something along the lines of, it was very clear on the tape that Coop turned around and said something to the guy
Yeah,
that ran into him.
I saw that. He pointed at him, almost looked like he was like laughing at him, like, "You stupid fucker."
And I tweeted, I want to imagine that Coop said, or that Coop just Coach Parkered that guy, and in jest said, "You stupid motherfucker." I won't reveal the details of the situation, but Coop sent that tweet of mine to me in the DMs after the game and confirmed some of my suspicions. Did say that Coach Parker is rubbing off on him.
He always does. He
My
always does.
response was a bunch of laughing and then congratulating Coop and telling him he had a hell of a game. He said appreciate it. So that was funny. It was good to get a little DM from Coop after the game. The seniors are going to leave, and this is something that Doyle would always talk about, like, first week back. The seniors are gone. They're not here to save you. They're doing NFL workouts right there. It's time for you to step the fuck up, juniors or guys that are stepping into starting roles.
For sure.
And like you said, senior class, this is a big one. Biggest senior class ever, in part due to COVID, right? A bunch of COVID years. Eventually, these goddamn COVID years are going to run out.
We're about 4 more years away from running out of COVID.
So at some point, they're going to run out. But for now, we got to deal with them. Campbell leaves. Laporta leaves. We lose Jacobs. We lose Seth Benson. But I think that this team is, and we'll talk about more of this when we get into the next year, but I think this team defensively reloads. The D-line is deep.
The D-line is talented, and they've got depth.
And let me talk to you about the fucking secondary, Kevin. Did you see Sebastian Castro?
Kid had himself a game.
My God, was he playing some football?
Best game of his year for damn sure.
So we got X. We got Quinn Schulte. We have Sebastian.
Had a solid season.
We have Sebastian. Jamari Harris is back. Or is that his name? Yeah. Jamari Harris.
Yeah. We'll be all right.
We're going to be just fine in the secondary.
We'll be all right.
Yeah. Now, linebackers, missing some guys. But Jay Higgins has played well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the rumor is we're looking for one in the portal. And then, hey, who steps up? Who's next man in? Because that always has to happen.
Well, I mean, you put Castro in the cash spot. You really only need 2. You got
right.
Higgins.
You're right.
So who's the next guy?
I don't know.
The other guy?
I'm not sure.
I mean, that was a rhetorical question.
I'd love for it to be Kevin Ward.
You know what, man? I think I could give you one more game.
One game?
One game, and then I need to spend about a week in the ice tub.
I was just going to say, how bad would you hurt after that game, man?
Probably pretty bad, man.
How much tape and anchoring would we have to do to your shoulder and pec?
Yeah, so the shoulder is definitely getting like one of those cuff braces, so you can't you can't get it out too far. Yeah, the shoulder is what I'd actually be most worried about for sure. Yeah,
I'd be worried about you too, but I'd still run you out there.
I'm good. I'm good to go. Man, you know what? I might be good for 2 games. You know why? The wedge doesn't
Portal shot?
Anymore. The wedge doesn't exist anymore. Don't gotta go blow it up.
Yeah.
Give me 2 games. I got 2 games for you.
All right. Well, we'll keep that in mind. I did mention on Twitter today, and you responded to me about how 5 years ago to this day, we started the best 4 months of our lives.
Yeah, and you said no to doing it again, you little bitch.
I didn't say no. I just said that Lauren would not be happy about that. I could still squeeze in a shitload of Fortnite, even with a kid.
Well, I think in this hypothetical situation, you have to abandon the fact that you have a family now. We just have to go back and live
I
at our old college house, and it
has to
just
happen at Benton Street.
has to happen at Benton Street, and the family can't be around.
I have to make Lauren a single parent.
Yes. That's the only way it works, man. You can't spend
You're right.
22 other hours a day doing all that stuff with a
You're
family.
right.
You just can't
You're
do
right.
it.
You're right.
So either abandon your family or say goodbye to that ever happening again. Make your choice right now. Gun to your head.
It's sad. You know, I have to choose my family.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
And I'm not happy about it. I want you to know that I'm not happy about it. And 2018 Tyler isn't happy about it either. He's pissed. Because I was eating Jack's pizzas, hamburger helpers, full boxes on the reg, half a gallon of milk, a chocolate milk a day, protein out the ass. Literally. The bowel movements that spring were oof. Yeesh. But you know how good I was at Fortnite and long snapping and gaining weight? Really good, Kevin. At all three of them. So good that I came back and the first thing I did to make money in Waukee before I found a job was, hey, I'm gonna donate plasma. And I went to donate
I got a little
plasma.
bit of extra right now.
And I went to donate plasma, Kevin. And after 3 weeks, they denied me. They said you can't come back in anymore because guess what? You're lipemic. I was lipemic. My blood had too many lipids in it. I was fat. It was literally the blood marker that says, hey, you're fat. And I was fat.
You never told us that.
I never told you that.
No, you never told me that.
Well, I just let it be known right now.
You put on a lot of weight in a very short amount of time.
I played the bowl game in New York City at 218 pounds, and the day of the weigh-in, which I believe was March 27th. So this was exactly 4 months, January, February, March. No, 3 months. It was exactly 3 months. In 90 days' time, I put on 25 pounds of weight. I weighed in at 240, 243 and a half. And drastically took myself further towards the end of my life. if it weren't for a turnaround. You know, it's probably a good thing, Kev, because if I would have been contacted by an NFL team, I would have had to live the most unhealthy life for as long as my NFL career lasted. It would have been drastically different than shredded CrossFit Kluve that eventually rebirthed himself after deciding, okay, well, the career's over. So, yeah. Man, that was a good spring though. Fuck. People don't understand how good of a spring it was.
Not many people get the luxury of
You don't get
3 months like that.
You don't get to live life like that. You don't even
Actually,
as a
you know what? I lied because people that go to college and don't go to class get to do that for 4 years. So
You're right. You're right.
I forgot about that part.
You're right. I want to send my condolences to the Ohio State kicker.
Can we get an expert analysis? Looked like a decent operation.
It was good enough.
Good enough.
It was good enough. And I thought about it, and the thought that came to my head was, and I was never in the position to actually hit the ball, right? That was Keith, that was Marshall. But I snapped those balls. And in a similar sense, if I throw that over the holder's head, it's essentially the same consequence as the kicker missing. So I felt similar pressure. And in a similar moment, we have a chance to knock off, it wasn't the CFP, right? That's a step up, but we knocked off a top 10 team in a night game in Kinnick, top 5 team. And I thought to myself, you know what? Most people, 99.99% of people will never have a moment in their life with so much riding on a single act. You could be in your career at 35, 40 years old and have a massive fucking mistake, a huge fuck up, cost the company hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm willing to argue that that still isn't as big of a deal as what that kid just went through last night. The
Yes and
amount of,
no.
and it's not comparable really because it's sports
Yeah, it's
versus
not comparable because the work thing, you could get fired, lose your job,
sure,
your family's gotta sell their house, and yeah.
maybe it could be that bad, but most people will never experience that, right? Like, this kid last night, Kevin, he wants to kill himself.
I hope not.
Uh,
I would, though.
A lot of people would. Performance anxiety, pressure, Ohio State, the CFP, a national championship. You know how many death threats he got from Ohio State guys? I don't even have to know. I just know that Ohio State fans who won a natty, they want to hoist that trophy. That kid got death threats last night. Keith got death threats from Michigan fans when we beat them on the last second field goal. That was a regular season game.
Like, what is he supposed to do? Miss it? What are they mad at Keith for?
I don't know. They had to get the cops involved.
I do remember that now that you bring it up. Damn.
The next morning in the hot tub, and yeah, me and Keith are in the hot tub together. Not a lot of clothing on. Keith is showing me DMs from multiple people, like 7 people. He's just flipping through them. Like, yeah, here's a death threat. Here's a death threat. I'm going to kill your family. I'm going to come decapitate you in your dorm room. Like, some wild shit, dude.
Good Lord, man.
And I bet people are nuts.
Sick.
But you think about it, you got drunk fans out there. All they want is a natty for their team. And now they're drunk and they find a kicker on social media. They don't think it's ever going to become anything. So they shoot off a quick text. Hey, I'm going to chainsaw your family in half. It helps them in the moment. They're like, I feel better about that. But then you get 30 or 50 of those as the kid. And you're like, oh, people don't want me alive. This is the severity of a situation here. I mean,
there's a handful of people that would prefer my heart not beat. Jesus.
Right. Correct. Now, on the other end of that, I bet there's some Georgia fans that might have sent him flowers, sent him some early chocolates for Valentine's Day.
Honestly, that would make me feel worse, I think.
Like sympathy?
Yeah, like no. If say I'm the Ohio State kicker, if Georgia fans were sending me like, congrats, nice job, thanks, man, or sympathy cards or whatever.
Can you imagine?
I would much rather get the death threats from my own fan base, I think.
Can you imagine? Fucking we lose to Iowa State because like you give up like a pass over the top, Kev. Somebody, you got into the game and you give up a pass over the top. And now all of a sudden, Kevin Ward, we're at 337 Benton. They somehow find our address, and you're getting cards from
like flowers and chocolates and edible arrangements.
Dear Kevin Ward, it's been so long since the Cyclones beat the Hawkeyes. Here at the Johnson household, you made us all extremely happy on Saturday. Here's some pineapple and mangoes.
That would hurt bad, man. I'd be down bad.
Oh fuck. Here's a box of caramels.
I mean, we joke about it though, but like,
it's real.
It's real, and like some of the shit that these athletes have to go through is just
truly unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're put on in today's world with social, Jesus Christ, I can't talk, with social media and the platform that you're already on and how fast media, news, anything you say can travel. It's a wild time to be an athlete. It's a wild time. So Hawks win 21-0. I don't think that there was much more to say about it. They did not play impressively on offense. Joe Labas was serviceable. He
It was a first start.
It wasn't
It looked like a first start for a young quarterback should have. Yeah.
who had 3 weeks to prepare as a starter. Yeah. Now, there was promise, right? There was a couple throws where he looked, okay, yeah, we could settle in with this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a couple really nice throws, and then a couple of young quarterback mistakes, not getting the ball to the right guy, and
Pulling it
timing was a
down and
little
trying to run into a wall of Kentucky defenders. And
some timing was a little bit off, right?
no,
How many years does
two,
Cade come over with? 2?
two.
I could see if Joey Labas sticks around, I could see him being a good Big Ten quarterback.
I think so
There's
too.
potential there. Huh.
I think so too.
Will he
Be
stick
interesting.
around though? No idea.
I doubt it. I doubt it because I think this was his second year, and I'm you're looking at the Iowa situation right now, and if you're a quarterback involved with Iowa, either on the roster or one coming in, I think the one coming in's name is Marco Linez from like New Jersey,
Yeah.
and then they got to commit from some Florida kid. You know that Cade is the guy for 2 years. Like he's the guy. We handed the keys to him. So if you're Labas, who would have 1 year left, I think, because he didn't get a COVID year. He started last year, so he wasn't around in 2020. You get 1 year on the end, and that's maybe. You got to win that job. You might go and find somebody else. You might see if the portal, it's weird because he's got one game of tape, and it was a bowl game that didn't matter. But I'm not sure what happens. The one other thing I wanted to talk about was, with the quarterback situation was Spencer said that he's coming back with no intention to play and revealed that his injury was not just a torn labrum or rotator cuff, but both.
Not great for a quarterback.
6 to 11 months recovery. And I imagine it's so long because usually you tear your rotator cuff. Well, you got that labrum to help sort of aid in the recovery process to start, or vice versa. You tear both. Shit.
Delays everything a little bit. It would be sooner if he wasn't a quarterback.
Yep.
But the fact that it's his throwing arm, yeah.
And to be honest, Kev, every time he throws a football again when he's healthy,
it ain't gonna feel the same.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt, and I don't think he's gonna have the zip. The motion might be off. I mean, I just don't. Even if he wanted to play again, I don't think the body's going to do it for him. And so he's in this weird spot where he said he's going to be on the roster. He wants to help mentor Cade. Sounds like more of a GA, like what they do in the NFL when they bring in like a 13-year vet and they've got this young gun and he's like the second string. And I don't know, man. It's weird. But the thing you said to me was, Cade's going to get sick and have diarrhea one game or twist an ankle, be out for a week, and here comes Spencer Petras. Oh, fuck. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of speculation, a lot of development in that storyline. But for now, that's about all I got. It's going to be fun to watch TCU and Georgia play in the national championship. I'd love to see TCU take it. I don't know if they can keep it up.
I think the entire country outside, SEC country might be rooting for their own, but I think everyone else is all in on Hypnotoad. If maybe I'm wrong in this, but I feel like Hypnotoad is taking the country by storm.
I think so too. I'm behind it.
Do you see what the line is?
I didn't. No. Let me guess.
Georgia by 13.5.
Whoa. I was going to say 7 or 8. Wow.
Well, I think, again, like Michigan played a really sloppy football game.
You're right.
I think if Michigan plays as clean as they had been playing all year, they probably win that game handedly.
I was going to say they win that game 7 or 8 out of 10 times, probably.
Yeah, probably at least 7 times out of 10. I wouldn't expect Georgia to give TCU any favors, but 14 is a lot of points, man.
It's a lot of points. If you want to go against the points, I think there might be a play there. But money line, TCU to take home the Natty, that's a Cinderella story. But appreciate you guys. This is 2023. Drake is just falling off, really. Just the guy just doesn't, he doesn't respect the brand. Doesn't respect you guys as a listenership. In fact, told me he fucking hates you guys. Just doesn't want to show up. Doesn't care about the audience anymore.
Do you think he likes us even?
No.
I feel like he doesn't really like us that much anymore.
I don't think he likes anything.
Dude, he likes jujitsu and his dog.
And maybe Kaylee. Maybe.
The jury's still out on Kaylee.
There's heavy debate against it. So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I think he likes Kaylee a lot.
I'm not. Appreciate you guys being here. 2023 is off to a hot start. We're gonna start banging in some guests here, bringing in some guys. Obviously,
phrasing,
huh?
Phrasing. Check the phrasing there.
We're gonna start banging our guests on the show. Want to get the seniors that obviously just graduated. Tory Taylor will not be a guest on the podcast for at least another year.
Saw that.
Because he's coming back.
Another year.
Man, that hypes me up, but also makes me sad because I wanted to bring him on. But, it'd be great to have Laporta on. I don't know if Jack Campbell will come on. Doesn't seem like a podcast guy, but I'm damn sure going to reach out to all of them. I damn sure am. And I hope that we can get some cool conversations. We will find other people nonetheless if a bunch of those guys don't want to come on. But thanks for being here. 2023, the walk-ons live on for another year.
We'll see.
We'll see. Till next time.